Hi everyone, welcome to the Great Fun Talk Show. Yes, it's been some time, but we are back. The lovely Andre is going to be on in a few minutes. We have a wonderful hot topic for you guys, and this hot topic relates to a lot of people, especially for those who are African American, and we could relate to even Hispanic as well, because we have different struggles. So our hot topic today, y'all, is going to be: do you think that African Americans struggles are different than Caucasian struggles? So here's the lovely Andre. Let me tap him in. He's coming on in. He'll be coming on in a few minutes, yeah. So while we are warming up to this hot topic, and hopefully you guys, this is the new year 2022. We have so much to be grateful for, y'all. I mean, I'm grateful to be here and to be able to have an opportunity to talk to you guys again about different topics, that we could all relate to. Everybody has different, we always have something to say. So, some of us could talk about something that we don't want to hear, but if we're talking about anything you don't want to hear, you're always welcome to not listen. But we try to keep our talk show pretty positive, and we could relate to a lot of people. So definitely we are here to talk about something that we all could relate to. And we are very big support to everybody. We are not a judgmental people. We don't try to, please don't take it personal. Pretty much don't take things personal. We're judgmental. Everybody is free to their own opinions. Everybody could say what they want to say. And, we're not going to judge you. Let me just see if the lovely Andre is coming on in on this live. I know I love Instagram and the opportunities that it gives us. Hi, Andre. Welcome back to the Great Fun Talk Show. We are back on.
Indeed, Turning Point. I'm so grateful. I'm so glad. It's been quite a while. We haven't been doing any lives, and any talk, on our talk show. And it's really great to be back.
Yes, it's great to be back, and we're starting off the new year. Today is another opportunity for us to, to be grateful. And, as I introduce everyone, our hot topic today is going to be pretty interesting. For them not to take it personal, but our hot topic today, let's just dive right in. It's pretty much, do you think African American struggles are different than Caucasian struggles?
Well, Dan.
Yes, go ahead, Andre.
Yes,
And we always have something interesting to say.
Well, we have to, especially stating the facts, and based on statistics, it says that for African Americans, hardships begins even before birth. For example, the infant mortality rate for blacks, for example, is more than twice that of white Americans. And black women are more likely to receive late or no prenatal care, and they also face nearly 3 times the risk of pregnancy-related deaths. Second, it says that in this parallel reality, family income is much lower. The percentage of black children living below the poverty line is 3 times that of whites or Caucasian race. And as well, blacks live in a country where the economy is always in recovery. Even though white Americans haven't seen an unemployment rate near 15% in decades. Can you just imagine, in decades? And African Americans have seen it many times, about once a decade, over the past 50 years. And that's stating based on statistics and facts, and research done and surveys done across America and across the world.
That is very interesting. And, that is, for centuries, our African Americans have been going through a lot of struggles. And I really think that I think African Americans do have different struggles than Caucasian, in my opinion, because I see that African Americans over the centuries, you know, we look back at histories, we see documentaries. If you look up on YouTube, which is a great resource, we see videos. We hear of different stories of our ancestors going through different things, and it's not just the normal things. Like they went through mental abuse a lot more than a Caucasian person will have to go through physical. You know, African American men were so, like, even I think even now, but we see from histories ago, African Americans do go through more struggles. Even financially, an African American man has to double. I think he has to work a little bit. I think personally, that's my another question before I jump into it. But I think African Americans have to. They you know, they go through triple more than the normal Caucasian person would. Their struggles is totally different.
Exactly. Couldn't agree more.
Yeah, so I have another question for you, and it was just gonna come on in, but when I was gonna mention another question a few minutes ago, do you think that African Americans have to work harder than a Caucasian person?
Of course, certain points. You know, that's straight facts right there. As we all know, throughout history, that Black Americans, especially Black American men, have been working 10 times harder than the whites. Because it's also stated in facts that despite an improved labor market, Black Americans or Latinos still can't obtain or get a well-paying, stable jobs with quality benefits. They continue
Wow.
to face systematic higher unemployment rates, fewer job opportunities, lower pay, poorer benefits, and greater job instability. It also states that these differences reflects an outright discrimination against African American workers, as well as occupational segregation. So it caused segregation within the workforce as well. And these differences are not new and the longest labor market expansion on record. It is the longest labor market expansion on records. African Americans have always been more vulnerable in the labor market. Workplace, right, almost vulnerable in the labor market. So as it says that Black Americans or African Americans, they are harder to find a stable job or stable income to support their families, and they have to work 10 times harder, you know, and these are some of the
Yeah.
inequalities that we're facing.
I actually agree with that statement and those points that you brought up because even with the unemployment rate, we know that African American men, even a woman as well, but we see that. Do you think that women have the same struggles as the men? African American women have the same struggles as the African American men would when it comes to the struggles of where or you think is pretty much equal?
You know, I think they both share the same discrimination and the same struggle because and maybe the women maybe even have a higher, you know, percentage as regards to the struggle because certain jobs they're going to look down on the woman and say that, you know, this job is not for a lady, you know, and those things, and they will tell her to do, you know, your job is for cleaning and those things, you know. So these are some sort
Yeah,
of
like
things
being a
that
maid, you know, they'll try to put you down or
right
and we
exactly
see African Americans are so like we are very successful people, and I think one of the things that I really I give a lot of props to our people because our people are very strong. We have a lot of our backbone. We have overcome a lot of struggles that we rarely hear other race like a Caucasian goes like a Caucasian person. Like when you look, like we have a holiday coming up, Martin Luther King Jr. holiday, and that holiday. you know, supports and so many of our people because what he went through, and not only him, but you know, there's many others, even some that was never mentioned until this day, and they might be quote unquote doing little things in our community. But I think a person even like my mother, I look up to her. You know, I'm sure you look up to your parents as well. I look up to my father, like our generation, like our grandparents and the things that they've been through in their days. They had to have they did farming as farming is not easy job to do, especially since we come from the islands. We come from Jamaica, and and coming from Jamaica over there, you know, we're so grateful to know that we were able to at least learn some survival skills in regards to some of these things. But you know, it makes you appreciate your roots. Like I'm glad that I'm an African American woman. I'm glad that I have these DNA in my system, because you know, we are not just simple people. We are strong people. And some of us come in different shades. Some of us are lighter. Some of us are a little bit darker. But our skin, our melanin is really a unique thing. And we have overcome a lot of stuff that even if we accomplish things that a lot of races never accomplished. Lots. And we are very grateful. We don't have to have titles behind our names. Some of our ancestors were just midwives, and that alone, and they were the only. I was watching something today about the Maroons in Jamaica. You know about the Maroons. You know the Maroons, how they have their own village and how they work so hard to keep their community together and the way they live their life. You know, and it just makes you realize, like, wow, some of these people I have Maroons in my family, and I'm so grateful. You know, you too, right? You know,
Yes,
some of them
absolutely.
we probably never got a chance to meet, but we see, you know, how grateful we are to have those genes, because our people, our ancestors, have made us appreciate being African American. And yes, we might have this more struggles in a lot of areas. They put us through a lot more, because guess what? We are unique people. We are not made to be like them. And there's a lot of ignorant people out there that want to see African Americans like us suffer. And some of our own people are so brainwashed. Our own African American people are so brainwashed that they don't even appreciate the fact that their ancestors had to suffer to go through certain things that we had to. Like, they don't even appreciate their roots. So I appreciate my roots and the people that went through certain things for me, um, for us
You
to
know,
be
turning
here where
point.
we are
You
now.
know, turning points. You said like very great fact right there that even our own people have been brainwashed, and even up to now we're still brainwashed as regards to the system. You know, there's a saying that says the system is corrupt, worse than a volcano when it erupts. I think that words I wrote it in a song, a song for someone, I think. But anyways, yeah, it's really true. The system is corrupt, worse than a volcano when it erupts. Because when you look at it, the founder of Rockefeller, when he started the educational system, it's also in history, stated in history. When he started the educational system, he started it and implement his ways of thinking and his way and what he wants how the world to be run. You know, and he stated that you want persons, you want a world of workers, persons who will work. You know, so you set it up a system in the system already as a brainwash. That's it. So that's why most people say that education is like a Ponzi scheme, because it is already
Mm,
structured
deep,
and
deep, deep.
yes, it's already structured and organized the way how the elites or the aristocrats want the rest of the world to be organized, you know, and
Mm,
brainwashed with their system, because those ways and systems if you follow them continuously, it can never, you know, bring us freedom financially or otherwise, especially financially, because it's
wow,
there to
that's deep.
put us down and to keep us working for employers, and for us to always be employers instead of entrepreneurs or become self-employed or own our own business or those things. So branching off, you know, and these are some of the things that we will need to look at and try to change our mindsets as regards to development?
Wow, yeah, I love what you just said. It's very inspirational to me, and I hope others that are listening and are tuning in, that you also will be inspired, by our hot topic today and our talk today, because being African American is really a blessing, and you are not made to be different. A lot of us have such great potentials. We see a lot of African Americans in our community. They're so financially stable. And I'm not just talking about just financially, but some of us may not have, quote unquote, the biggest bank accounts, but we are also very, 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 very spiritually and wonderfully made in other areas. So we are gifted in all types of areas. So we also need to be grateful for our skin, that we might not have certain things that a Caucasian person, like for example, we are known to have more violence in our community. They know African Americans probably will go through more violence in because they're more prone to have unwanted pregnancies. What else? We're known to have a lot of abuse, broken families, so much more. But regardless of all the bias and all the naysays, we know that a lot of our people are great, and I'm one of the things that makes me feel very special is the family that I come from. I'm not sure about everybody else, but I'm grateful for my family, like my family, my roots, my genes, my people. But that's the next video that we probably gonna try to do, a tribute to our family, because our families, it's great to have good family system. And of course, it doesn't matter the size of the family, but be grateful for the family that you have, and the fact that, they might not have everything perfect just like you, but the fact of the matter is that we came a long way. African Americans came a long way, man. Like we should tap our hands on our shoulder. We came a long way, and our journey is gonna always be that journey. We're known to be to go through certain things, but guess what? I'll take that and say, you know what? I want one of those African American persons. They will, quote unquote, label you as a mentally ill person. They will, quote unquote, do all types of things to us just to destroy our names, just to destroy our reputation, all types of stuff. And some of us are so powerful. They try to destroy us in all types of ways. So, but that's all right, because you know what? The higher power knows who you are.
That's right.
He knows your soul, so our ancestors had to go through it, and they still great, and we appreciate them. So I have another hot topic question for you, Andre, and we're going to wrap it up after this hot topic. But my next hot topic question is for you is, do you think prejudice, if that's a word, do you think
prejudice? Yeah.
Do you think prejudice are being racial bias in the workforce will ever stop? Like, do you think that it will ever stop in the workforce? Because we do see prejudice, racism going on still in the workforce. I think this is a very, very, very big one, because even though we're living in a new world today, things have changed a lot for African Americans. So which gratefully, we are very grateful that it has changed.
Yeah, well, let's turn the point. That's a very good question, because as statistics has shown, and it also states that in the workplace, discrimination is illegal, but data shows it's still a huge problem. And thousands of people report job discrimination to the government each year. Employers are rarely held accountable for such reports. The problem of workplace discrimination in the USA, treating people unequally because of their race, gender, religion, or other fundamental part of who they are, isn't usually expressed through slurs or physical threats of sort alleged by the workers. Complaint data shows that it can often manifest in more subtle ways, such as the assignment workers are given the pay or benefits they receive and the ways their performance is judged and rewarded. It can also happen in the hiring process before applicant even begins a job. For example, a groundbreaking study found out that employers were more likely to consider white candidates with criminal records than a black candidate with no such history. Can you imagine that?
Wow.
Employers would consider a white candidate with a criminal records than a black candidate with no such history. And and on a final note, when says here, when you had evidence of unequal treatment exists, it is often buried in personal records and only the employer can access it. And even making an accusation can come at a price, because if you report such things, either they're going to try to fire you or to get rid of you out of the system, out of their workplace. And unless you're really strong, then you can fight the system with the court and those things. Well, yeah, as you can see, these are all facts stated from surveys done and things that happened throughout history, recently and a couple years ago.
I'm blown away, and it's amazing how still our people still try to stand strong, because this is why I say, like, for myself, I'm so grateful because our people, like, you going to work just like the other man needs to go to work, the other woman, man, whatever. We all are striving to provide, and the ignorance that goes on in the workforce because of some people's mindset. We see this going on even with our young people. I have 2 sons and a daughter, and I'm telling you, I already encountered some of this going on with one of my sons already. And it's amazing to see how ignorant this world could be. That, they aim after and target some of our people because, we don't deserve that, just like they don't. And there's people that understand that literally they go out there and they don't really care about working. They have that evil mindset, period. And when we talk about evil, we have people out there who their job, they're living the life of strict doing murdering for a job. Some of our guys and our women, we're not even doing none of those things. We're innocently trying to work just like the other man is trying to work. And, our people have to encounter the force and the struggle to go through these pressure of the ignorance of these people that say, hey, because you are black, they will put this pressure on you because you're black. You probably have you're more prone to have a criminal record. You're more prone to have mental health issues because you probably come from poverty. They even create drama in your family, create more animosity. They create it just to say, to keep them having a job because they need a job. So they want to create a mess on your life. But our people are great, and that is why, and I'm talking about for the innocent ones, not for the ones who were, and I feel bad for the ones who are living in their life in total ignorance. They just don't know. And they're totally lost. They're lost souls. They're lost in some of the teachings that they were taught. And some of them, they was taught spiritually on a different thing, so they don't know any better. So that is why they react the way they react. They think the way they act, and that's okay too. But I'm grateful that at least me and you, we could say, speaking for ourselves, that we grew up in around some really strong-minded African American people in our family that actually gave us some good genes. You know, get good quality. What should I say? Good characteristics. You know, so we could kind of think back, and it's something that you never know. You could leave back for your kids when you have kids, if you have kids, because there's nothing wrong if you don't either, because kids is not for everybody. You know, I say it's a dangerous time for people having kids now anyway, but I'm grateful that I became a mother. I'm grateful that I was able to share that part of my life to say, hey, I accomplished this. But I'm grateful that the fathers, they're good fathers, African American men that strive to do what they have to do. One of them is half Spanish, half Hispanic. You know, I'm grateful that the fathers of my children, my two fathers of my children, they are very supportive. They try to do what they have to do. And big support to the men out there who are also trying to help those children, mentoring the best they can. Like, you are a great role model, Andre. I think you try to use the resource that you have to make the best out of what you have. And you don't have to have this. You're a great entrepreneur person. You have this great mindset. You know, you try to build the next man up. You are not about the negativity, and you're going to have a lot of haters. You're going to have a lot of haters. I'm going to have a lot of haters, you know, and that's why they try to come after us, because people like us, we're so brilliant. We're beautiful.
Exactly.
You know,
to the points, you have said some great points there, because when you look at it, even the artist industry, in the music industry, and even in the Hollywood industry, the acting industry, the black actors or actress, they have to work 10 times harder, you know, to try to make it in the film industry. And also for the musicians or for the artists who are singers, they have to work 10 times harder as well to make their music go on top in the music industry. So as African Americans, or African on a whole, or black people on a whole, we have to unite and bring the power. Unity gives strength. That's what I say.
yes.
And as well, we just have to just go for our dreams, our visions, our passions, create our vision boards, and follow each of them step by step. Because if we don't, then we're gonna. Because they always say that person always say that if you fail, when persons fail, they always give up. But failures are just lessons learned. So when you fail, that's the time you must keep on going. Because more failure you have, the more the successes come around the corner. And first of all,
and to add to that, just to cut you, and to add to that, even if they consider it a failure is not always negative.
That's correct.
Failure is sometimes very good for you. Oh yes, failure is sometimes good. Because to some people it might be considered a failure, and to some people it might be considered a success. But to you, what is it considered? Are you a failure?
Oh no. I think I'm a growing success. I'm growing.
That's it, regardless. To the end of time.
Yes.
Yes. So to the end of time.
Sometimes we need to even though I spoke about a while ago in the workforce, persons in the workforce, the Black Americans who are in the workforce, they have been bombarded with a lot of discrimination and prejudicial comments, and sometimes the employers, they make it hard on them by giving them 10 times more work than the other employees, so that they may feel like to give up on the job and quit instead of firing them, because they know that sometimes the system will also punish them for doing that, for being discriminative or doing discrimination things. So they try their best to kill them with a lot of workloads so that they may give up and say, I quit. That's what they want, because, yeah.
You are exactly right, and I've encountered that, and I'm telling you, and that is why I created my own business, to try to do the best that I can do with it, and to help others
Exactly.
with it the best that I can. Because I've realized that this is another system. Our people, like even from our same people sometimes are doing that to us, and you know what? We see a lot of, like I said, the ignorance I've encountered, and even people in my family as well as have encountered this. I'm not sure if you've seen it, but even people someone could just look at you, Andre, on the job, and even from your same people, they're jealous of you. This guy has this look that I have, and I'm just jealous of him. I'm jealous that he's so dark and handsome. I'm jealous, that the fact that his hair is like that. Look how he could fix his hair in all these creative ways. I'm jealous of those eyebrows that you got, man. I gotta pay surgeons to get this type of look that I want. You got haters, regardless, just because you are unique for your own self. You were made unique, and these people are gonna hate on you regardless. But that will never change. I personally think the racism will never change in the workplace. I don't think it will ever change. And unfortunately, this has been going on for centuries. So
Even though in statistics it says that it's have it has decreased significantly over the years, because back in the years 19, I think in the 50s, 1950s, 1920s, and those years, um, the white Americans always say that if they would never live beside a black person or a black neighbor. They will never have a black neighbor in the community if the majority. But since now, in recent statistics, it said that about 1% is saying that now, because they're saying in the statistics that I read today as well, so that 1% would say that now, and there are many whites now, like maybe 85%, saying that they have Black American friends and Latinos as well. So it's getting better, but it's still there, as we said, it's still there. Racism, the discrimination, and everything.
Yeah, I think it is getting better, which is a good thing. And thanks to all those people that paved the way for us nowadays, because if it wasn't for them, we wouldn't be able to go through what we go through, and be able to have the freedom that we have in certain areas of our lives now. But we still do. I think one of the areas that is changing, though, we see a lot of ignorance about spirituality. Different people have different spiritual lives, and you see African Americans, you have a different spiritual religion, and they will just hate on you. They'll literally hate on you because you believe in something. And I'm talking about whatever your religion is, you're not harming anyone with your religion. You're not killing anyone. You're not sacrificing someone to go say, you know what, this is my religion. That's a part of some people's religion. I respect it. But then this is where it draws the borderline. People become very sensitive when it comes to that. And you, as an African American person, you were raised like that, so you're not going to know anything different. You're not going to know anything different. But it's sad to say that in our African American community, to see our own people going against our own people as well. It's really sad.
So, Turning Point, we have quite a few guests here who have been listening. We have Jerome 876 Boss, Hillary, Gente Hero.
Yes, we have some lovely people online. Thanks for tuning in, guys.
Dervelo and Kuani. Yes, and
yes.
Corridon was the first one that joined.
We have quite a few people here. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. And hopefully you find our hot topic today pretty interesting. It's great to have you guys. Feel free to join in anytime, but it's been some time. So maybe our next live, you guys will join in, but feel free to join in our hot topic. We are non-judgmental. You could express whatever you want to express. We won't say anything personal about that. So everyone it's a freedom of speech. You know, you could express whatever you want to express, but we do appreciate if you do not speak in a way to bash someone else or to speak in a form of way, because this is publicly and we try to keep our talk show pretty positive. Because that's what we're all about, you know, just be speaking a real talk and keeping it real in a positive light. So today's hot topic was wonderful. I hope you guys enjoyed it. But that's the end of our hot topic talk show for today. Andre, do you want to wrap it up with anything else?
Well, all we have to say, we just have to just, as I said, we unite as one and we move forward for our dreams, our goals, and vision, and just keep on working for your dream. Because if you work in the workforce, you know, we have to develop the mindsets to evolve into the next stage. Because if you're an employee, that would be the E stage. You know, I'm talking about the money, the cash flow system. You know, I think there's the author, Robert Kiyosaki. He's a very good author for many books. I read a couple of his books, and he explained the cash flow system very well, phenomenal. You know, and he said the E stage, that's the employee stage. So when we work for a boss, whether it be a good boss or not, then you have the next stage, self-employed, or become an entrepreneur. Whatever skills you have, you evolve from the employee stage to the self-employed stage, and then from there you go to a business owner, an investor, and those things. So it's a lot of things, you know, we have to focus on our dreams, then we go from each stage to each stage, and then you become free. That's what that's what we're all aiming for, you know, to become free.
We're
Freedom.
all aiming for that. That's true. But the good thing is, at least, you know what, you're African American. I'm glad that, you know, right now I'm grateful that we do have the opportunity to use social media and to use Instagram Live. We appreciate Instagram Live that we're able to use this resource tool and YouTube as well to promote our talk show business and to be able to use it as another platform to uplift the community. And it's great.
And we just like to know, to tell you guys that, as Turn Horn says, we have our social mediums, the Instagram and YouTube so far. Maybe we'll have a website as well coming soon. And as well,
that's right.
Looking forward for a podcast. But for the podcasting, we are taking our time with that because we're going to organize everything properly and efficiently. So when a podcast is ready, it will be a bomb. So stay tuned for us more.
It's going to be fly. Yes. It's going to be awesome, as the Americans would say. Now that I'm so Yankee, as Jamaica would say. But it's going to be awesome, you know. You know, hopefully we'll be able to get a podcast going and to be able to, you know, get some more listeners and some more supporters. But we are very proud of ourselves to be able to be another African American successful people that are able to use this resource. We know we have a mouth that we could talk, so we're using it as a resource to uplift other people. And to be able to talk some real talks to you guys, just like you guys could relate, you know, we could all relate. So, yes, so that is the end of our talk show live today, guys. It was awesome. And it was great to talk to you again, Andre. It's always a pleasure to be on the live and to work together. But, you know, I just want to tell you something, Andre, that keep doing what you're doing as another African-American man out there. It's great to see guys like you who are so hardworking. You have a very much talent, and some of you guys don't know, but you might have, maybe we have mentioned this in one of our videos before, but Andre is very talented. He's a great singer, and even myself, we sing. You know, we have other talents. You know, besides this talk show host, we do other things beside this. So
that's a writer as well. The writer.
Yeah, so we do other things. So I'm very grateful that we're gifted in other ways. So, you know, big ups to our genes, right? Our talent, our other talented genes. Well, okay, guys, it was a pleasure. And it was awesome being on the live with you guys. Take care and have a wonderful week. We hope to see you again on our next live. Tune in on our next live. Don't forget to send, share, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Bye, Andre, for now.